We're just going to piggyback off the video I was talking about earlier about the worst enemy to the African Americans are their own people that's in higher positions and power. And we're going to listen to Elijah Muhammad speak about that in 1959. And it's worse today because back then there wasn't that many black African American political leaders, right? That was in power that they in now back in the day that they are now, for them to even turn the other cheek and don't even represent reparations, you know what I mean? And putting the African American community last and putting all these foreigners first. So we're going to listen to Elijah Muhammad talk about the worst enemy to the African American community is niggas within. Let's go.
You are listening to the national radio broadcast of Messenger Elijah Muhammad Propagation Society. Your principal speaker is the Honorable Elijah.
I don't agree on everything Eli say now. Don't get it twisted. I ain't biased. You know what I mean? I just make 42 laws in my yacht. I got the scale. I balance it out. You know what I mean? I don't agree on everything he say, but I do agree on some of the things he say, okay? For those who saying, oh, listen to he racist. He listened to Elijah Muhammad. He had great talking points on you house niggas. Great talking points. Back in 1959, and it's showing it today that ain't nothing changed with you niggas.
Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad is the preacher of freedom, justice, and equality for the American so-called Negroes. And now, we have the pleasure of presenting to you the last messenger of Allah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
And the title of this video is The Negro. Black preacher is the worst enemy to his people. That's the title of this video.
Greetings to you. I'm Elijah Muhammad, the preacher of freedom, justice, and equality to my people here in the United States of North America, whom Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad found here lying deaf and dumb, many out of those, many hungry and naked, without the knowledge of self and kind, and without...
And we most definitely know these niggas don't got the knowledge of self, because they doing for everybody else but themselves.
The knowledge of God and religion, the true religion of God, entire submission to His will. Yet today we are having one of the most waste problems ever been presented to the world of scholars and scientists, and even of God. That is to resurrect the poor, so-called American Negro.
American house Negro.
The lost and found members of our
most definitely lost.
Aboriginal people of the earth, the black nation. He has been here for the past 400 years and have lost all knowledge of self and kind.
Yep, they lost all knowledge of self.
Hates himself and his own kind.
Yes, they do.
Cares not for any uniting with his own kind.
Facts.
Because he has fallen in love with his slave masters.
We talk about the BOULE, y'all. We piggybacking off the video from earlier. The BOULE is the worst.
This was put into him by the slave master.
And you know they hate each other because they was out there selling niggas out to take that experiment, that jab 19, COVID.
The past 400 years, he has nursed it.
That's the only time them niggas fought for niggas, to line up to take an experiment.
From his grandparents, his of the slave master and his children.
Joe
who have
Biden.
proven by history and by actual things and by actual experience that they are no friends to him.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community.
But yet he's like Lazarus, pictured by Jesus in the Bible. He still lay at the rich man's gate begging for him to carry him right on. For 100 years we have been given freedom. We have been told that we was free for 100 years, and we are more silly today, especially you who have not the knowledge of self. The leaders, we was 100 years ago more silly, more in
More sillier. You hear him? This is 1959. You niggas was silly then, and you most definitely sillier now.
love with the slave master, more blind, deaf, and dumb to what you should do today, of which this is our subject, what must be done. You don't know what to do, other than to go and lie down at the rich man's gate and beg him to continue to bear your responsibility throughout the years to come. You don't want to leave, to go for yourself. You're too lazy for that. You don't want no responsibility for your people. You want the white man to bear the responsibility of producing the necessity of life for us, we the poor, now lost and found members of our people, who have.
How could we be at the bottom of the chain in 1959, goddamn it, and we in 2026 and we further underneath the chain, goddamn it? Come on, man. These niggas been sellouts, y'all. Niggas don't care for us. When they say the American dream, they not talking about us. They talking about foreigners.
Come in the person now of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, to lead you into the knowledge of self and help you to go for self, help you to become independent self and not a
And that's what Trump talk about. Independent. You don't need to be worrying about the system and this, that, and the third. Get out and do for self. You understand me? But you niggas out that motherfucker capping hard for them illegal migrants, though. Whereas though y'all don't even care about not only your peoples, but the American people. Y'all put America last. And like I said over here, ain't no bias thing. It's about common sense at the end of the day, goddammit.
Ignorant people as we have been for the last 400 years, begging the white man to take the responsibility and care for us. This is real shameful for us to be in such condition. I say the time now, and what must be done in this time with you. The time have arrived. It's not the come. Judgment is now. The end of this world. White supremacy is now. It is now coming to pass. No darker people on the earth today.
Apologize, like Cory Booker.
Apologize for what?
Cory Booker's called for it.
Cory should apologize. He knows better. I'm not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. It's a fully, I'm not joking.
The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future.
I know Joe. We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.
That's right.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Even call centers was rushed overseas in the hundreds of thousands. How many times you get the call? I'd like to talk to you about your credit card. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. They're gonna put you all back in chains.
In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. The Democratic Party is diverse, and it should be reflected as so in our leadership.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black, why does this happen?
I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this because let me just be really clear. Vice President Biden absolutely has a respect level for all people around him, for voters across this country, young people, older voters, voters of color, black people, Latino voters, indigenous, Asian American, Pacific Islander. So I'm not going to even traffic in any hypothetical conversation.
Defending Joe Massa, yo. That's what Eli's talking about, yo.
We don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I think Joe Biden might be suffering from that same white entitlement and privilege and ego, where he's just that old school white male who feels like, hey man, they need me, I don't need them, or I got them already.
Joe Biden is under fire this evening on comments he made about working alongside segregationist senators in the past.
Biden recalling his early Senate career, bringing up two segregationist senators, Herman Talmadge and James Eastland, who called African Americans an inferior race. I was in a caucus with James O. Eastland, Biden said. He never called me boy, he always called me son. At least there was some civility. We got things done. We didn't agree on much of anything. We got things done.
I think the two-party system, although my Democratic colleagues won't like me saying this, I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black in the South. Other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind.
It's that old school white male.
They're gonna put you all back in chains.
30 seconds or less. What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South if you were running in Democratic primaries against Southerners like Mark Warner and John Edwards?
Better than anybody else. You don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
It's that old school white male.
Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made.
The first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean, and nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
My son is Attorney General a year in Iraq, came back, and that's one of the things that he finds was most in need. When he was over there in Iraq for a year, people would come to him and talk about what was happening at home in terms of foreclosure, in terms of bad loans that were these Shylocks who took advantage of these women and men.
Back from Mumbai to go meet with President Xi in China. I stopped in Singapore to meet with a guy named Lee Kuan Yew, who most foreign policy experts around the world say is the wisest man in the Orient.
I'm not a racist bone in my body. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black,
take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I give myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because
key word, created, y'all.
That we somehow forgive
they
them
created
and do not
them,
take
y'all.
them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. I'm the guy that said, rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it, notice it. And even when we notice it and we know it occurs, we don't know why. So you cannot make rehabilitation a condition for release. That's why in our system, there's the federal system, you serve 85% of your time. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. There's the federal system, you serve 85% of your time. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. But there is a consensus, and I will cease. A, we must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malfactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist, and we must deal with that.
These your house niggas, y'all. After he said all that, look at these niggas, y'all. You can't make this shit up, y'all. You can't make it up. And this is what Elijah talking about, y'all. This is what we talking about, y'all. You can't make this shit up, man. He talked all that shit about them niggas, man. Look at these niggas, man. Look at this moot over there in the far left. Pair of heels on. What kind of man? What kind of man? God damn it, put on a goddamn dress and some heels and dance around his slave master. Huh? God damn it, look at all these house niggas, y'all. That's what Eli's talking about. That's what we talking about. That motherfucker look dead, man. Look. That motherfucker, y'all. That motherfucker, y'all. And look at Kamala. Kamala Harris, and her husband's name is what? Last name is Imhoff. Why she don't carry her husband's last name, ladies and gentlemen? Did y'all pay attention to that? She married to Imhoff. Why her last name is Harris? Come on, man. This all was a motherfucking stunt, man. Bunch of clowns with a bunch of real house niggas. And this is what Elijah talking about. Ain't nothing changed. That speech was in 1959. God damn it, we in 2026 now. And these motherfuckers still out here capping for this party here. Especially her. That Divine Nine House niggas, they was mad she lost. That's their fraternity sister there. You know what I mean? And it's a whole bunch of Masons and Eastern Stars and all types of mofos in there. Look. Look at that, y'all.
It is now coming to pass, no darker people on the earth today that have the freedom of doing for self and being their own rulers want any more white rule over them and their people. But you, the leadership of America, this is where the blame should be put in the leadership of the political so-called Negroes and the church leaders, the preachers, who are just as frightened to say anything in defense of their people as a mouse is to come out in the daytime before hungry cats over the house. The Negro preachers is one of the worst enemies of his people. He's blind to the knowledge of self and hopes to keep his father's blind for the joy of the slave master's children. He is the two. He is the chief ambassador, disciple, the apostle of the slave master's children to his people. I say to you that is listening of my people, come to some reasonable terms on what must be done for our people that they may see, understand, and live today. The whole world is now threatening to blow up and destroy the nation's independence, as Jeremiah says in his prophecy of it. In these symbolic words, the earth, he says, is turned upside down and the nations is scattered abroad. I said, this can become literal. But he had, at that time spiritually, referring to the nations, that they, the nations of the earth, is turned upside down politically. Disagreement among them is now such anger, at such anger point that they cannot reconcile themselves. They are determined to destroy each other. With you, leaders of your people here, the so-called American Negro, sitting on the
Talk to him,
top of the pot lid that will blow off here in America. America is one of the most hated people and countries of all the nations of the earth today. That I should say she's more hated than all the other countries and all the other people of earth combined. Why? Because it's a work of God.
But these Democrats opened up the border and let all these foreigners cross the border, knowing they hate America. And that's what the big fight is really about, ladies and gentlemen. That these Democrats let all these foreigners, and they know they hate America. They burn the flags and all that shit in their countries. But yet, this Democratic Party opened up the borders and let all these foreigners cross the border.
Weight of the righteous nation. It is the weight, principally, of divine supreme being who have.
In the same way they use these niggas to go out there and turn their church house into a political stunt. Meaning selling you out to go out and take an experiment. And we all know it was an experiment. More people died that took it unalive.
Disguised himself and come in our midst in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. I thank him for coming. I thank him for opening my eyes to the knowledge of truth and my ears and heart to understanding. You, the intellectual group, who are too proud to accept your own nation and your own God, salvation to you. You take it for fun, for absolute mockery, to be invited to join back home to your own kind. You take Islam for something that it is an organization that has been created by me here in America without divine guidance whatsoever, or divine guide, divine mercy, or divine truth is in it. You take me for a joke. You take the truth that I have preached to you as a joke. You take God himself as a joke, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. I fear that you are going to meet with that which lots of people who mocked him and suffered for, and Noah's people who mocked him and the truth that he preached and suffered, drowning in a flood of water. Moses in Egypt, whose opponents also suffered, drowning in the Red Sea. I fear you being under the same thing that lots of people were. You are too proud. For 35 years I have preached to you the truth. I defy you to disprove the truth that I have been teaching. Time and again, I know you are a lover of money. I have often offered to you
Crumbs.
from my followers' pocketbook $10,000 to disprove.
Crumbs on the plate.
The world now believes that what I'm teaching is the truth, but you are too proud to accept it.
Facts.
Because the enemy will whisper to you behind the door and tell you that you shouldn't pay any attention and you
The
take it for
enemy will
granted.
whisper behind closed doors and say,
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do.
Attention and you take it for granted that the enemy is a more friend to you than God himself. The Bible teaches you of this trigonology that would come upon you and the temptation of this
trigonology.
world.
Trigonology. That's a fact. We got that book. Hold on. Right here. See that? You got that book.
Today, that is now offered to you to make you forsake your own salvation and life eternal in Allah, your God and my God and your nation. Do you think that the nation of Islam will be wiped from the face of the earth? If so, tell me, how can they be wiped from the face of the earth? And I will agree with you if you have anything. But I know it's impossible. You can't do it because the God of heaven and earth is on the side of the Muslim and against what you call Christianity. No religion, my friends, my listeners, will survive this war with Islam. Islam is a religion of entire submission to the will of God, whose proper name is Allah, and who have appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. You're foolish to turn it down and think it's something that I have created when that I never heard of Islam before the coming of God. I had not thought of ever being called by the name Muhammad. I knew nothing about it. I never taught to us by the white man, and the white man can't teach it to us because by nature he cannot teach you and me righteousness. And you know that. You have experienced these things. You are experiencing them today. Now, what must be done with the people who willfully hear is the truth and will not accept it, willfully rejecting it? There is it and know it is the truth. Many of the leaders of my people, you know that it is the truth. But for the sake of the slave master's enemies, are open in us. On our slave master's children are open enemies who are today beating and killing us up and down the streets, highways, and in even our places of worship. Yet you are so in love with such people that you reject your own salvation and wishes salvation from them in the way of just allowing you to wait on the job, or just allowing you to court sweetheart and marry them. If to marry them, you care not for the future of your people. You only want the future of the white race because you have baptized yourself in love with them. But I say, if they will be loved by God, the God of truth, freedom, justice, and equality, you would not love them more than I. But they are not the beloved of God. They are the enemies of the God of righteousness. They are lovers of evil. They are lovers of indecency, as you see. And therefore you, going over to them, make the world to know this is all you care for. They are not by nature made to do righteousness, and you and me trying to accept them for righteous people and will point us off the right way will be gravely mistaken. We have been gravely mistaken in this people for the last 100 years, not to think over the 300 years that they absolutely blinded and dumbed us to the knowledge, beating and killing slaves all of those 300 years, without any mercy whatsoever coming to us from God or either from our own kind. For our own kind did not know that we was here. In those days, they did not know. You say, well, God always, yes. But the God is prophesied as coming. Not that he was here for you and me 400 years ago, no. It was his word was here. And the prophets was preaching that word, that he will come. Now today, it is no more preaching that God will come, but God is here. And I have been telling you that for 35 years. I'm not preaching that God will come, but God is present. God is with me, and I'm with God. And I warn you that he is here present to do just what it was predicted by the prophets that he will do. Telling you all that believe in him and unite you on to himself and your kind, and give to you a name of his own that shall live. See? These names, you make fun of them. And then, as far as I say, the inducement for such names as fish or Mr. Wood, or Mr. Tree, or Mr. Vine, but any name that is not absolutely divine, supreme being name. Names of something that does not refer to human beings. You like that better than you does their name or attribute of divine supreme being, which is prophesied in the book that you read every day, the Bible, that God will come and give to you. And yet today you will not accept it. With all of the teaching, all of the proof that what you hear is the truth. Even the white people themselves bear me witness in many places that this is the truth. It is you that is rejected.
The nigga.
For the favor and a good laugh or pat on the shoulder or to sit and meet with them or to talk with their women folks. I don't blame them for kicking you out of their house with your wanting eyes of their women. I would do the same thing with them if they come over to my house, trying to look wicked and adultery-eyed at my women folks. I would do the same. This is the nature of people, of intelligence. It is the nature of people that want a decent family. It is the nature of a people that want a decent nation. They don't want that nation spotted up. But here, the leadership condones destroying its people, rather, through integration. And this wicked thing of condoning your son to marry a white girl or a white son to marry your black daughter is one of the most worst evil in the sight of Almighty God.
This just in, longtime newsman Don Lemon is married. The former CNN anchor ties the knot with longtime partner Tim Malone in New York City, April 6th. It was
Look at their kids, y'all, the dogs. That's their kids, the dogs, y'all.
Fans share a photo of themselves at their wedding
with their kids.
at the 5th Avenue
That's what they said.
Church in Manhattan.
I ain't making it
The
up.
Don Lemon Show host,
What the Bible say about first of all, their sexual lifestyle and dogs in the bed with these motherfuckers.
as they made their way
Every rule Most High,
they
he
captioned
broke.
their Instagram post, just married. It was Don's wish to have a religious ceremony. He told people, quote, I wanted to get married in the church, so Tim made that happen. The United States Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield, officiated the ceremony in front of about 140 guests, which included the View's Joe Behar, Sarah Hines, Ana Navarro Cardenas, and Sonny Hostin, music executive Clive Davis, the Real Housewives of New York City alum Luann de Lesseps, Tamron Hall, Alec Baldwin, and Hilaria Baldwin, and Don's former CNN colleagues Kate Bourdain, Aaron Burnett,
Devils.
and Dana Bash.
Devils.
Don, who left CNN in 2023, and Tim, a New York real estate broker, announced
You always talk that racist shit and he married to a white man.
exactly 5 years before their wedding day. The newsman shared a photo of his fiance's proposal in which
He always talk that Donald Trump racist shit but married to a white man.
dog tags that read,
Look.
Daddy, will you marry Papa?
Look at that.
Tim later wrote on his Instagram story, quote, he said yes. Congrats to the newlyweds.
Wicked thing of condoning your son to marry a white girl or a white son to marry your black daughter is one of the most worst evil in the sight of Almighty God. This took place as we have history of it, and you read it like a long time ago. You have it there in the Bible where it says, and the old men, ancient men, meaning the black people of the earth, looked upon the daughters of men, meaning the white people who was drafted from the black people, that their daughters was beautiful or good to look at, and they married or taken them wives of these people. This happened in Arabia over 4,000 years ago. Now, today, the whole world is mixed with the blood of these people. We have two races, dominant races from the grafting of this people, or rather the black man, to get this people out to rule you and me for 6,000 years, namely the brown and yellow race. I say, my listeners, my beloved people who have been made blind, deaf, and dumb, wake up before it is too late. You have only just a few hours. This is the fateful year that we are living in now. It is the fateful year of the white race on the planet Earth. They are making every preparation to try to remain here. The problem is now, is this so-called American Negro, the lost and found people of his own kind, living in the midst of this people whom the world is now cleaning their guns and their planes, their missiles on to destroy from the face of the earth by the order of God. And finally, as the book teaches you, and me, Daniel refers to it, it's like this, that the fourth beast will be taken and his body given to the burning flame. This is none other than America. I want you to know the truth. This year, it is the fateful year of the white rulership of the black people of earth. This is their year of fate. They will lose. They will lose miserable the rule over black men. They will do it. And those that is wise among them are now trying to make preparation for safety. I say, they teach you, tell you what is happening. They do not deny the truth as you deny the truth. They do not deny the things that they know that God has made manifest. They know that the truth was coming. They know the time is right that the truth must be preached to you. The Bible dead and the Holy One dead. That you must be resurrected into the knowledge of yourself. They're not trying to prevent you, but you're preventing yourself. You cannot say, accuse the white people that they won't let us hear the truth. You hear it. It is nice of them to let you hear it, but they know you are so dumb that probably you will never believe it, and you are not believing it. I said to you in the most strongest language that I can give to you, this is the year of faith. The powers of the nations of earth, many will be destroyed this year. And I said to you, my beloved, who owns no country, who owns no power in no country, you are helpless. You are servant of the American white people. Fly for your life. Fly for your life. There must be something done about your ignorance. What should be done about your ignorance to make you or force you to come to the knowledge of God and the knowledge of yourself and your kind? I ask that question, but I will ask. Chastisement of Almighty God Allah is the only one now can force you into submission to His will, as He forces everything of nature to bow to His will, willingly or unwillingly. He also will make American so-called Negro now bow to His will, willingly or unwillingly, or be punished night and day with such grief that you cannot sleep day nor night. Such regret of your ignorance, they are rejected. These are missions to the will of Almighty God, and enter into His salvation for you. you won't be able to sleep night or day. I said, this is coming upon you, so-called American Negroes, who refuse to accept Islam. What you think Islam really is? What do you think it is? I repeat, Islam is the true religion of God. It is entire submission to His will, and without any people's own favor, an individual, bowing in submission to divine supreme being. That God will not have mercy on His soul. This you should know. This you have been taught, but you don't believe it. This is the time. Time what? It is the time that is allotted, or was allotted, to the white race to rule black man on the face of the earth. This is the end of that time. It was the end. 1914, as all religious scholars and scientists agree. That was the end of the white man's time, and God have revealed it to me. That was the end. Now, it's been. Now, soon will be 52 years from that time. And the day have arrived. Don't look that it should be extended. It has already been extended. Grace has been given to this people, the wicked world of white mankind. But now 52 years, and they still just as wicked or more wicked today than there was in 1914. Look what you will need at their hand. Blood, death, and you are pleading to the murderer to have mercy on your soul and be easy with you and forgive you and grant to you equality with the murder and death. You are simply an ignorant people, and the leadership is absolutely the murder and death of its own people.
Facts.
American clergy class and the political class of this people is the American so-called Negroes, real murderers, for they will take you into that which has been prepared for the wicked world. Death, I think. Assalamu alaikum.
For more information.
See, now you heard that, heathens. And this was back in 1959. That speech is still strong today. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, until the next time, peace. Don't trust these Negroes. They're here to sell you out.